What's going on, man? It's your boy Haak the Five Dudes guy, man. I'm just sitting out back, chilling, man, keeping my mind right. God bless everybody out there right now. I'm just trying to stay positive, going through the things that I'm going through. But I was just watching, recapping, watching the Choke No Joke interviews about, well, not interviews, but live videos about, Dame Dash is dead, not in a literal sense. But it prompted me to go and watch this interview on Jumper channel, and it's Dame Dash getting interviewed. They talk about a multitude of topics, one being Jay-Z's NFL deal and how do Dame feel about, the rumor about JD, who confirmed it on a Breakfast Club interview that, Jay sneaked him out that deal pretty much. And listening to Dame speak on that, a couple of things stuck out to me. The first being, like, he talking like Jay ain't ish, Jay ain't this. Let me say something. I'm not a Jay-Z supporter, like, so if somebody say something to him, like, I'm not Memphis Bleak. No offense, but I'm not Bleak. So if somebody say something about him that's negative, I'm like, yo, what you saying, dog? Like, no, I'm a human being, so we ain't got no relationship like that to where I jump out the window because you said something negative about the man. But it just prompted me to think, because he like, yeah, you should already know Jay had a reputation for years. He snaked people. He ain't ish. You know what I'm saying? If you work with him, that's on you, this, that, and the third. And it just makes me feel like, what kind of shit was going on all these years, Dame? Real rap, like, even though I'm going to mention Choke, this video ain't got nothing to do with Choke. It's about you. That's why it's going to be titled, like, me responding to Dame Dash. Like, how the hell can you say out your mouth that Jay ain't ish and he burned people or did bad business with people, and that if you work with him, you an idiot, or if that's on you, it's in the third, when you was working with him for all them years until you got cut off and Leor got you out the way? Earlier in that interview, you talking about doing businesses and, living out in Burbank or whatever, in Cali, and doing it like this, that, and the third. Well, you talk about values and doing things the right way, but what about, like, public knowledge and documentation of your name being surrounded by pretty bad shit? I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm somebody that like to go do outside research from scholastic studies. What that means to those who don't follow is, I don't just research shit from school and think I know stuff. Like, I go outside of schools. I'm 36 years old, but I'm just saying, I research shit outside of school. Since I was a young boy and found out the truth about Christopher Columbus that they don't put in the social studies books in school and shit. So since then, I was on my, let me go and find out for myself, not just listen to somebody say something type shit. And your name come up in some crazy shit. And it's crazy because it's not like you gotta pay some monies and go through these backdoor channels. No, you can just, like, Google search and see, like, news articles and shit that's been mentioned in other cities and states and countries. And it's like, I don't want to start speculating and putting out stuff, but your name come up in a lot of shit. You ain't take care of regular bills that a man creating a child with another woman that they not together and you got to support. You ain't taking care of that on certain ends, you know what I'm saying? But you talking about business and doing business. Then you talked about, like, how companies and corporations or labels that sign people, they don't really do nothing. It's like they riding the coattails of the celebrity and this, that, and the third. Well, Dame, what was you doing, bro? Because I don't remember you spitting verses and all that. I don't remember you getting a featured artist joint and doing. You didn't even Puff Daddy the game and have a take that on the record, bruh. So I don't even understand where that comes from. You was somebody that rode the coattails of the celebrity. You was riding Jay-Z coattail. Like I said, I ain't got no stories with Jay-Z. I ain't never been around that man, and he ain't never, put me on and nothing like that. So I ain't got no reason to, like, defend him. I'm not defending him, because when you see some of the stuff that he's done, it's like, damn, bro, I'm grown. I understand what I'm looking at. It's like, you're not gonna show me something, act like I didn't see it. Like, what the fuck? You was on one side of the fence, then you jumped on the other side. But that's another story. Damn, like, you was riding J coattails. You was trying to be like the hood Puffy, all in the videos, dancing and shit. You on here talking about how working with him on one end, if you work with him, you an idiot. But on the other end, you were talking about labels riding coattails and managers not doing this, that, and the third and all that. Well, like, what was you doing, bro? You rode his coattails for years until they cut you off. You know, you got footage that's been out for years. Like, I seen the Choke No Joke videos years ago when he was dropping them Last Days of the Rock joint, like when they was new. Like, you can go back and just type in Choke No Joke Last Days of the Rock and look at when he was posting it, not when some other person took it and reposted it. Look at when he posted it, and look at how many years ago them Jones was up there. You're like, damn, it's 6 or 7 years ago. It's in the third year. I seen it when they was first out. And I guess people must have forgot that some of this shit was out. So now that a lot of stuff got brought up and came out in the last few weeks and months, like, he releasing certain shit, it's stuff that he never released before that's about to start getting released. So it's like, damn, Dame, you doing people wrong. You talking about doing good business and you doing it the right way and not doing it this way, but you did niggas dirty. Didn't you snake Dwight out of that Procast deal while he was booked? My bad. For those, I'm from Philly. My bad. But for those not to know, didn't you snake Dwight? I said it again. Didn't you snake Beanie Siegel out of his Procast joint and the state property closed shit? Don't you owe that man some money? Like some M's? Not some hundreds of thousands. Don't you owe that man some M's? But you want to go on the TV joint, the little podcast joint, and talk gangster and say all this, and niggas got flabby arms and gray hairs and this, that, and the third. Like, listen, bro. It just, the same way. Like, if you seeing this, the same way I'm doing this, I did this like months ago when Lord Jamar was talking about Eminem being a guest in the House of Hip Hop. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing against you personally. It's just that certain things that people say stick out to me, and while the thought is in my head, I'm going to address it. To me, you just sound like a clown. Like, you go from one side of like talking regular and calling people culture vultures and all that and the third, to crying on camera and saying you missing men, whether it's Jay-Z or not, you missing men, and apologizing to Leor Cohen and all these people. Then flipping months later, talking the way you talking on that bull Adam 22, the Jumper podcast, John. So I don't get it. Like, I don't like flim flam. You know what I'm saying? It's like people that I know have done some corny shit, but at least like they owned up to their corny shit. And if they continued to have a repetitive nature of corny actions, we knew they was on some corny shit, so we kept them in the corny category. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like, oh man, I was corny, but now I'm solid. So when people took me cool as solid, I turned to the boy that cried wolf, I'm corny again. Like, nah, bro. And it's like, you flim flam. First, as these people was culture versus, then you crying and apologizing to them people. Then it's things didn't work out, your plans didn't work the way you thought it was going to work. Now it's fuck them people. So to me, it's like, damn, that's crazy, bro. And then you talking about, like I said, it all was prompted by listening to the interview, because the part about Jay-Z comes after you spoke about celebrity and fame. That's what sells. That's what's always going to be able to push something and move the needle and things of that nature. That was after the fact that you spoke about companies and labels that sign people who don't really do no work. They just ride the coattails, this, that, and the third. So listening to those two things and then going into talking about Jay-Z, and listen, man, he got a known history in the industry. Everybody already know. And if you work with him, hey, that's on you. And he's this. He ain't shit. He ain't shit. Well, bro, where was all this at when Reasonable Doubt dropped? And whatever the story is of how y'all had to go up with a paper bag full of money to go get the record played on the joint and all, what about that? He wasn't shit then? And you said don't work with people, but you was working with him, right? What about when In My Lifetime 1, 2, and 3 came out, and the controversy surrounding certain tracks and the beefs he got in and all that? What about when the Blueprint 1 came out, and everybody started hearing Young Chris and Neef and them on real mainstream Rockefeller record CDs, and Jay-Z was going through it with Nas and all, the whole title of the album being the Blueprint and all that? What about where was all the, yeah, y'all should already know, Snake nigga, da-da-da-da, where was all that at? Now to hear this shit in 2019, it just sounded like a bitter dude that had a plan and it backfired. Then he had another plan and that one backfired. So then he went to, listen, I'm just going to show my vulnerability. I'm sorry, man. I miss you, dog. That didn't work. So now you back to fuck everybody. So you grown. I'm 36. You grown. You know what I'm saying? Not one time in this soliloquy that I pontificated for you did I talk about anything that I do in my life. Did I sit up here, yeah, you know, I got a company in my business, so this nigga ain't talking nothing. Bro, you just got a horrible disposition about yourself. And if this was a regular world, like in terms of when you got a job and you do some nut ass shit and you be all crass, but then something happened and you get fired, that's what would happen. That's the way it happened for you. But we all know, like, your worth was just squeezed up like the juicer. Like, you got a juicer, you put the fruit in there, after you squeeze that joint down or after you grind it in there, ain't no juice gonna come out after a while because you didn't took it all out, all the pulp and all the fruit gone. You had to throw that rind out. So you was the fruit. They squeezed you up, bam, got you out of there. But then again, they didn't squeeze you up at all because what did you do? You talking about businesses and all in the third. The majority of the businesses that the public knew about when y'all was at y'all prominence, it was like a screw job tactic. Like you went behind people's backs and did nutty business tactics. But you talking about you did it the right way. So to you, the right way is to do nutty business tactics and then blame it on the fact that you was a kid. You wasn't no kid, bro. You wasn't no kid. Y'all wasn't even kids when Reasonable Doubt dropped. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was young adults. And then into In My Lifetime Volume 3, Life and Times of Sean Carter, up to Blueprint 1 and 2, we got Beanie Siegel, The Young Guns, Memphis Bleak, and Freeway in between those times with multiple successful albums and runs, but they could have been way better business ventures and way bigger things had they been promoted and marketed properly in all the same markets that Jay-Z was in. But if you was at the helm of Rockefeller and you did all this work and you know how to do business, how come you didn't do that for those artists? Damn mosquito. How come you ain't do that for those artists? How come Young Chris and them was held to being in like a tri-state market after being little teenage kids that literally had a #1 single on Billboard charts and was nominated for a Grammy coming from up Haak and up north? See, it may sound crazy because I'm from Philly and it's like, oh, it's just a Philly person coming on. But bro, like, it just don't make no sense to me. I'm a producer. I have been one for years. I'm also an artist. I've been one since I was 14. My goal was never to sell records. Trying to get into the game, not to get chains and nothing like that. For some reason, I had a passion for music. Found out when I was 19, 20 years old, my father used to be a drummer for Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. So I'm like, damn, that's why I can freestyle. That's why I don't try to fit in and do what everybody else do. That's why I never try to put some package together to send it to some company and do this shit. Because when I did get offered some shit, I turned it down. And I didn't know why at that time. But finding out about the music industry after that, oh yeah, that was why I made that decision back then. And it was such a, oh, I'm glad I didn't make that decision. Not a, oh, I wish I never did. I don't do bad business, Dane. That's why in any place that I go, any hood in Philly, Northwest, South, Southwest, G-Town, Logan, and all the rest, as my man Mac would say, I don't have no issues, bruh. I don't have to duck my head. Yo, there's a raccoon on the side of this joint. Anyway, I ain't got to duck my head in no part of the hood that I was at. I ain't got to, like, wear a certain color to fit in. I ain't got to use a certain lingo. I'm Haak everywhere I go. Since I was a kid, I dress the way I want to dress. I don't, oh, that's the new trending topic. I got to do that too. But see, that word culture vulture, that phrase, not word, that phrase, that terminology, it bothers me because, like, bro, you was a culture vulture. I never seen you spit bars. And just to put a definitive end on that, to use Chris again, Dame ain't a rapper, how Dame get in it. Remember Chris saying that on Hot 97? Dame ain't a rapper, how Dame get in it, hit your brain. Remember he was freestyling up there? I ain't never hear you do it on the record. You did that joint on a Time After Time. We Are the Champions, John. You were talking, popping pants, popping, you know, Dame Dash, Rockefeller Records, you know. You did that talking, John. That's like the only time I ever heard you say anything. But you was just talking. You know what I'm saying? Niggas then came at you and made, like, diss tracks against you that had, like, your fake monologue or talking like that. Like when Petey Crack did that diss track against you and he had, like, a Dame Dash impersonator boy in there. Yeah, you know I pop tags. I'm a popaholic. You know, I pop tags on strawberry pancakes, rock for life. Like, that shit was funny as hell. But that's just what you do, bro. Like, You got a snaky business track, and you're trying to like make it seem like we don't remember. It's kind of like the world trying to fool everybody into acting like Fruit Loops was always spelled F-R-O-O-T, knowing damn well that shit was spelled F-R-U-I-T. When I was a kid, I used to cop boxes that was spelled the regular way the word fruit is spelled. Now they spell the word fruit like you got the word root and put a fucking F in front of it. You trying to do that. You trying to make the world think that, oh, Dame was always cool. No, man, you did sneaky business moves too. Think about it. If you were so marketable and your genius of being able to put business together and doing things the right way was so good, then when that breakup happened in 2005, you would have been straight. This stuff you talking about, oh, music is this and it's not really that. So why did you create Dame Dash Music Group when Jay separated from y'all before the president of Def Jam came? When he separated, why was it was a Dame Dash Music Group? Why did I cop the Becoming and look on that John and automatically see like Death of a Dynasty? And if y'all don't understand what I'm saying, on Death of a Dynasty, that movie, right? At the end of the plot and all that, they get the CDs that was supposed to be going at each other in the stores. You get the CD. On the front, they got the Rockefeller. On the back, got the Dame Dash John that was in the movie. So it's like, oh, they did it together. They scammed you. Oh, it was together. It's kind of like that, except it wasn't a Jay-Z, like, Dame Dash plan to do this. But when you look at The Becoming and you listen to an interview that Beans gave you before he, you know, when he was booked and he was talking about recording the album and how he didn't get a chance to make the choice because he was going through his case and all at that time. Bro, why do Beanie Siegel album, John, say Rockefeller Records? But then if you look at the back of that, John, they got the logos and all on the back, that should say Dame Dash Music Group as well. Look at the disc, we got the same two Johns. Like, hold up. So who is Beans officially signed with? You just doing all these snaky business moves, bro. You done burnt that man out of his Procast deal, burnt him out of Armadale in a certain way, burnt him out of the State Prop Clothing. Like, bro, you owe other artists money, like Denim. You owe Currency money. You owe Choke No Joke money. But you on these interviews, like, I don't like that, bro. It's like Dame figured out a way to continue to stay relevant by doing that whole shit that people rapped about. That whole fake it till you make it shit. You talk it, you talk it, you talk it. So hopefully somebody will give you enough attention to where somebody will want to sign you to a deal or get you some exclusive interview to pay you this money to do this, that, and the third, so you can get that little bit of money to put into this business to get your name relevant again. I see it, man. I see it, man. And if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong, bro. But I see it. And hearing that whole Jay is fake and he ain't ish, and you know people that's stupid to work with him, you know, because you already know his reputation. Well, bro, no offense, like I said, I ain't no Jay supporter, or I ain't no probably trying to tear him down either. But at the end of the day, he's still working at 50 years old. People still want to see him somewhere, whether it's some sold out arena, whether it's talking about reform, whether you believe anything that he say he stand for or not. It remains to be seen. But at the end of the day, that man's still relevant. People still working with him. He got sports business companies, Fortune 500 businesses invested in him. He got this going on. He partnered with Live Nation. It's all, so he's still working with people, and people still working with him, because that industry is nothing but a bunch of people that do that type of shit. So if you somebody that was supposed to have been so talented, or your business sense was so appreciated, and they just had to be able to show you on your own, how come you ain't still working? You keep talking about this not working for somebody. That sounds like a job to me. Everybody need a job, bro. And I don't mean like everybody need a job because you get this bullshit mentality of it's a slave mentality. You choose to do that. I wake up every morning and be my own boss. No, you wake up every morning and shirk responsibility and live safe over there. How come you ain't in Brooklyn? How come you ain't in Harlem? I'm not saying you're supposed to keep it real and move back to the hood, but how come you not there? And because you're not no celebrity nigga, no like, oh my God, it's Dame, we gotta take pictures of TMZ on his head. You can go live in Brooklyn. You can go live in Harlem. You be cool. Unless you done some dirt that niggas want to take your head off about. Unless you stole some money from niggas that live down the street from you, like Jimmy. Oops. You know, but it ain't something that I just heard on the grapevine. Jim Jones and all them people have come out publicly, whether they beat around the bush in a statement or whether they gave radio interviews. These people have come out themselves and spoke about this. Then you, sorry Choke, but you got Choke No Joke ready to just flame you because you been coming on these interviews and talking about him on records and saying he's a liar and he's a chump and he got jumped and didn't do nothing. Well, I'm trying to figure out what happened in London or what happened in Paris, wherever it was at. What did you do to these people? And as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, Choke No Joke said he got jumped, right? But he got jumped because he was filming a Jay-Z concert. And it was under your order to film that concert. And J&M didn't know. So, bro, if he got jumped for a separate altercation, when that Paris shit happened and you tell the story that only Choke ran on you, you ain't say none of the other people you was with ran on you. But then in one interview you say they, but now you go back to saying it was just Choke again. When that happened, how come Choke didn't get beat up by you or get jumped by your goons because he ran on you? How come them same niggas that was with you didn't beat Choke the fuck up because Choke ran on you? See, that's the common sense theory that don't nobody be paying attention to. They just listen to shit, and if they like this person, they gonna go with what they say. If they like that person, they gonna go with what they say. They're not gonna stop and think for a minute. Like, hold up. Kind of like I did when I heard you in the beginning of the interview talking about businesses and doing this. Then I heard you in the joint talking about labels going behind the entertainers, and the entertainer is the celebrity. That's what sells. The fame is always going to be moving the needle. Then later on talking about Jay-Z ain't ish and working with him ain't this, that, and the third. So just saying with that, I paused that interview and stopped and said, hold up, let me talk about this right now. I'm probably going to come back on here and do another jaunt because I'm not even finished watching the rest of the interview. But if you ain't talking about nothing but yourself and self-glorifying and stuff like that and bloviating hyperbole, I'm not going to watch the rest of it. But I just want to hear about specific shit because, see, I'm grown. I was a young boy, but not a super young boy. I was a young teen, or I'm sorry, a young adult at that time because I was fucking 17, 18, 19, 20. You know what I'm saying? And I was just getting into myself as an artist and doing my whole stop writing, I'm going off the top of my head type shit. So to see all the fun shit and all the backstage movie and all the fade to blacks and all the little beefs that was going on throughout all the years and everybody thinking, hey man, this is going to be great, to see how it all fell there. And then you start to see layers of the story start to get peeled from different chapters of the book, from different people's perspective. I respect Bleak for one thing. Not to sidetrack, but I respect Bleak for one thing, because he came out defending his homie or standing up for his homie regardless. You know what I mean? That's his homie, whatever. You can't say nothing bad about his homie. I got people that I stand up like that for, and they ain't never did no rap. We ain't never had to do nothing in the streets. It's just that relationship that we got with each other and the rapport that we built with one another. So I respect that part. But bro, what I don't respect is like, find out the truth, bro. Take both sides, especially when you got access to both sides. If somebody came to me and told me one of my homies on that side was on some shit, and because I'm with that homie primarily, I won't believe it at first. I'm not just going to shut that down, bro, because I got access to you and you my homie too. Regardless of which one of y'all I knew longer, the one that I knew longer, yeah, it might sound kind of crazy because he ain't never do that type of shit to me or around me. But at the same time, you my folks, and you ain't just going to come out saying that. You know what I mean? So I'm going to find out, and I'm going to hit that person up. I'll give you a prime example. The What About Hobies Call About Foes that live in New York, they hit me up. Or if my cousin that live in Far Rockaway hit me up and tell me that What About Hobies that I've been with for all these years that I've known, like a Bleak to Jace situation, was stopping him from getting a job at the corner store joint or at the UPS joint or anywhere. And I know the full inside story, but I don't know because I never really sat down and talked with him about that because we don't talk about that shit. I'd be like, all right, you just said that he told you that. And the people said that, right? All right, well, get him on the three-way right now. Call him right now. That way we can hear about it. If you tell me no, or you decline that make me look at you. That's cause a pause right there. You unbiased at that point. It's like, why you won't get that man on the phone? You putting his name out there and saying he said this and the third. Well, he told me something different. So call him up right now and put him on three-way. And if you be like, no, backing off, that give me reason to be like, I don't believe what you're saying. There's no validity in that. So what I got to do now is go check that other side. I don't just automatically say, all right, it's over at the end of this conversation. I got to go find out now. So that's the one part that I got a problem with Bleak on. I'm not saying a problem like I want to do something. I mean, like, that's, and as an adult, it's like, yo, bro, I like to deal with real shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you said this is what happened and this is what's been going on, and I'm not privy to that piece of the information, and my people's that you telling me that I've known all my life that looked out for me and changed my life is the person behind this shit, I want to find out, bro. Because who's to say just because we older, I might not get scrambled up like an egg one day rocking for this nigga. But I'm not going to lose my life for another man out in these streets And I don't know gay shit, nothing against homosexuals, lesbians, transgender, bisexual, and curious individuals, no. And transgender individuals, no. Nothing against y'all at all. But I'm just saying, I'm not risking my life for another man or woman out here in these streets. Unless it's my mother or my son. They the only two people out here that I will jump in front of a bullet for, push you out of the way of a moving car for, or go through beef for to get me killed. That's the only people in this world, bro. My child and my mother. That's it. Not even my son's mother. And there's nothing against her. It's just that me and her not together. I don't hate her or nothing like that, but I'm not going to risk my life for you. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. We not together. I would risk my life for my son, and I would risk my life for my mother. After that, that's it. So I can't respect that part where you don't even want to hear. Like, I was watching Choke interview, and Choke live, and Choke was saying that he talked to Bleak, and he didn't go into this specificity of what they spoke on, but he did say that he played Bleak a recording of a person saying that they was blackballed and Chris and this and the third, and Bleak said, and I don't know if it was true or not, I'm not saying it was true, but he said that Bleak was like, no, I'm not trying to hear that, son, like, turn that shit off, B, I ain't trying to hear that. So if you ain't want to listen to it, I mean, because you don't want to hear the truth, that's like a corny thing. Like, if your man trying to tell you, like, yo, your baby mom is on some shit, bro, and you don't want to listen to him because you and your girl been together since high school and nothing never happened like that, now it's like she fucking around when you out of town type shit. It's like, bro, I've been trying to tell you, and you just don't want to listen to it. Now you got to end up falling the victim yourself. Don't think because y'all older and the whole Rockefeller thing is over for the most part, and y'all ain't no prominent big thing no more. Don't think you still can't get used in a way that'll screw your life up if you make one false move, man. Understand that. But back to you, Dane. It just makes no sense to me. Why was you working with this man? Like, you wasn't an artist. You could have went to another label. You could have, well, I don't know if you could have went to another label, because who would have wanted you to be, what were you? Like, now that I'm thinking about it, you say you was the CEO of Rockefeller Records, you said? Or you was the president of Rockefeller Records? What did you do? Like, I ain't saying that you didn't book shows for Jay or talk to people and broker deals, but what did you do, bro? That would make, like, let's say, all the stuff you saying about Jay, you felt that way back then. You say, you know what? We got in here, in the door. I showed them that I could do the job of a whatever in the music industry. So I'm gonna go put my resume out or whatever, however that works, and, you know, try to get hired by another company. You know, I'm gonna leave Def Jam, I'm gonna leave Rockefeller Records, and either get signed as a Def Jam A&R or Def Jam vice president or whatever you try to do, or go to Arista or go to whatever, Bad Boy, somebody gonna sign me, somebody at Elektra, whatever. How come you ain't do that? You was working with Jay all this time until the breakup. And the breakup wasn't really a breakup. It was like people pretty pushed you away. They wasn't fucking with you, for what I understand. And if you really listen, this is where I really got, like, give it up, because I watched the Drink Champs interview with Dame, but I also watched the Drink Champs interview with Bleak. And Bleak talked, and Nori brought up a situation where they was on a plane flying back from a show or something like that, and Bleak got into it with Dame on the motherfucking plane and told him, niggas don't fuck with you like that. Like, and pretty much told him, like, after this shit is over, like, you gonna see, like, nobody don't fuck with you, nigga. Like, he was giving you the hood version of that talk where Leo Cohen and be like, man, we shutting you down. Like, it's a rap. We don't, like, you out of the circle. He was giving you the hood explanation of that, pretty much. Now, Bleak told that story himself, and while Nori is saying the real shit of it, Bleak is nodding his head to it and agreeing that that's the way it went down. So, it wasn't no real breakup. Like, y'all just had irreconcilable differences or some shit, and you wanted to do the business this way, but Jay wanted to take it to this level, and you wasn't willing to see it for that, and then it's like, all right, we gonna go our separate ways, you know, agree to disagree. No, nigga, they pushed you out, so you bitter. I understand. If I was working at my job, killing it like I was killing it, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, because I live in Pennsylvania, it's an at-will state, they can just fire you and give you no reason. They just come in there, all right, Mr. Bragton, man, today was your last day, have a blessed one. After all the sacrifices I done made for this company, I done bust my ass and did my job and the jobs of 2 and 3 other people at the same motherfucking time, and you gonna do me like this? Bro, I understand. You know what I mean? Now, thank God that didn't happen to me, but I understand that if something get done to you and you feel like it happened unjustly so, that you want to retaliate or you feel some type of way. I understand that. But you can't flip-flop as a grown-ass man. As a teenager, people probably expect that of you because you ain't grown yet. You mean you're going through your emotions, you just developing the rest of your skills and your traits and all that. But as a grown ass man, 50 plus, you know what I'm saying, 45, 49, 34, 28, like, nah, bro, I can't let you get away with that. Not you, anybody in general. I don't let friends get away with that. I don't let family members get away with that. And like I said, you ain't the only one. I did a video responding to Lord Jamar talking about Eminem being a guest in hip hop, and I gave things about poking holes pretty much in the shit that Lord Jamar was saying. Like, if that's the case, then we all are. You understand what I'm saying? But that being said, come on, Dame. Like, the history, like, the proof is in the pudding, as it says. And the pudding then got mixed, chilled, taken out. People got served some of it. They put the rest back, saved it for a couple of days, came back, ate some more till it was gone. Now that the pudding is gone, people started to talk about the people that made it. They ain't talking about, oh, they took that box of Jello mix and just put some milk in there and then, no. These people made it from scratch. So now you start to find out, oh, it wasn't just cocoa, sugar, cream. They started putting in that dextrose and all this other shit. Gluten and all that. And monosodium glutamate and all that shit. They putting all this other shit in there. Oh, man. Then the stories start coming out more. This is why they did it, because it was so popular. And they started selling it online, and it got too big, so they had to start mass producing, and they had to start cutting corners and making it cheaper. You start finding out this truth. So that's what happens with this whole Rockefeller Records, Dame Dash Music Group. But again, how do you go from saying that these companies and all this in the third, is this and the third, when you still trying to be relevant in their eyes? I understand the game you're playing, because you ain't doing these interviews on like the big stream joints and the main people shit. You doing these little independent joints and shit like that to try to show you, I mean, independence where it's at. When I was talking about being independent 10 years ago, people looked at me like I was crazy. Listen, bro, they probably looked at you like you was crazy, because they like, what the fuck you gonna do independent? That's gonna generate the capital and the lifestyle that we've afforded you. And then when you kept pushing the envelope and they kept trying to give you subtle warnings like, bro, you don't want to go this route because it's going to be bad. And you went that route, and now it's bad. And then other shit going to start slipping out. Now, listen, it's the motherfucking 25th. Let me see. Let me pull this joint down real quick. Yep, it's the 25th. It is now 2/11, Sunday, August 25th, 2019. Mark my words, bro. If this keeps up and he keep talking the way he talking, you're going to see more of his shit coming out. All that stuff that you can Google search yourself that got swept under the rug because of statute of limitations or legal precedents that's different in different countries and shit coming back to the United States and not happening here, you're going to start seeing that shit get more publicized, and people going to start coming out and saying shit against Dame Dash. Watch. This is how it happens. If you guys have not, he's not the first. It's just a different scenario. It's in the hip-hop rap industry, but this is not the first time this has happened. Damn, Dame. I was never a Dame Dash fan, but I'm not a Dame Dash hater. It's the same thing with like a LeBron James team. Just because LeBron James played for it, I don't root for that team. I'm a Sixers, Blazers, and Bulls fan since '88. And look at the teams that those rosters, look at the rosters those teams have had since '88 till right now. And I've liked those same teams. I never switched because when we had Kobe Bryant drafted into the league for the Timberwolves, traded to the Lakers, now I like the Lakers. No. LeBron coming to the league with Cleveland, now I like Cleveland. No, I respect their game. I'm not a hater like, fuck that nigga. No, I'm not like that. But at the same time, I'm not going to be like, oh, every time somebody say something against them, no, you can't say that because they did the best thing ever. I'm not like that. So it's the same way when it comes to the industry and music. First of all, music is a sinful thing. People conjuring different spirits and saying shit they not really real about. You sat behind it. You talk about these people not real. You also in an interview talking about, you know, artists that spoke this. And it's like you taking subtle shots because you wasn't talking in general. You was speaking kind of personally. But it's like, you know, artists is not really living what they live in. They not really real about that shit. This, that, and the third. Well, you was sitting there with niggas. If you thought that any of them wasn't real, if you thought that they was doing shicey business, if you thought it wasn't this, that, and the third, why was you still there reaping the benefits off the fruits of their labor? You wasn't out there setting up the stage and saying, put these decorations up there this way and put the lighting like this. You wasn't out there at mic check saying, yeah, Jay-Z in the building. Yeah, it's the rock. I see you complaining. I see you in the backstage, John, when he got you up there snapping about Jay-Z in the backstage shit and getting Def Jam on the jackets and all that. That shit right there came out again with Choke after that movie was out. And it's like, bro, that was the beginning of the end for you. That was the beginning of the signs. Like, they was giving you signals back then, like, you might not want to go down this path because you ain't going to like how it's going to turn out. And then when you started not getting brought into meetings that they was doing about Jay-Z and other things that was going on with Rockefeller and Def Jam, and doing other shit like cross-promoting the Def Jam joint on the Rockefeller tour, those were signs to, like, that. Those was other little things like, yeah, man, we tried to tell you. Here go another sign. And you kept striking and kept striking and kept striking out. Now you can't swing the bat no more. And you mad at that. I hear you doing rock and roll now. I haven't seen no footage of this. And I'm not going to research that because I heard you was wearing a skirt. Listen, bro, I ain't pushing the agenda. I'm not wearing tight-fitting clothes on my body unless it's like a suit. You know what I mean? Fitted clothes is supposed to be dress clothes. Not supposed to be jeans and regular t-shirts. I'm not supposed to be out this joint 6'2", $165, $170, skinny jeans, looking like a female, trying to show my cheeks off. Like, no, bro. So, you know, to each his own. That's just not me. I'm not pushing the agenda. I'm not part of it. They ain't get me. They didn't get me. And I'm a gifted individual mentally. The vernacular and the vocabulary that I have, I got to stop cursing so much because it's extensive and it's correctly placed. It's not just like a Stephen A. Smith just pulling words out of his ass type shit. No, bro. I know where it fits. That being said, it's been like 35 minutes, 36 minutes of me letting you know, like, that's some corny shit that you're doing. It's kind of bitter. You know what I'm saying? You flim-flam. And you talking crazy and reckless about people in situations where you was working with these people for years, a decade plus. And I ain't never hear none of this. Well, not a decade, because y'all came in, well, close to a decade. I mean, when you think about Reasonable Doubt being 97, 96 and shit like that. And then all the time after that. So, yeah, almost close to a decade. But damn, bro. It could have ended up better for you. And now you just sound like a weirdo saying stuff like that. Like, on one end, it was like culture vultures and they this, they that. Then it was, I'm sorry, sniffle, sniffles, I miss you. Now it's F you again. So to me, it just seems like the outside looking in, just hearing those three things right there, it looks like, oh shit, he had a plan to try to get back in good graces with those names that he named. Because you could have just said the industry in a whole. You could have just said the industry. But you decided to name specific names that you were under, that other companies that y'all worked with were being profited by. And when you did that, it was like, oh, okay. Well, any glimmer of hope he might have had, or any thought that we would have let the thumb up off of him would have been good. You think back to Jay-Z's quote, I got my foot on the post, on the throat of this rap game, and I ain't letting up. Or did I say it the wrong way? I got my foot on the throat, on the post of this rap game, and I ain't letting up. Yep. Think about that. It's not just talking about, oh, he's the best artist. I look deeper into that lyric. And then when you look at the influence that he's had, and if you believe in all this secret society and Illuminati shit, and how there is a governing body of individuals that can put all this in place, and all these rappers who talk this gangster shit got these CIA profiles put together for them. When you think about that and you look at it, it's like, hold up. He ain't talking about just rap. Like, I'm the best rapper and can't nobody fuck with me. I'm gonna keep on spitting hot shit and not let up with it. No. It's like, nigga, I got influence. And if I don't want you to blow, you ain't. Look at young Chris. Not because you whack, but because you a threat. And I said Chris was blackballed way before any of this went down. And I ain't gonna let nobody know how extensive my reach go in the music world or with people that's connected. I ain't gonna let that be known. And my man is him. And no, I ain't gonna do all that. You don't know my face. That's a good thing. You don't recognize my face. That's a blessing. I guess when niggas cut their hair, they really look different. But that being said, when 2004 came and we was banging all this Rockefeller shit in the streets, 2005 rolled around, shit started to get a little bit funny. I started to listen to a lot more independent music around this time. Mixtape music, a lot of websites was coming out, Dat Piff and all that. I started to hear a lot of Beanie Siegel mixtape shit. Now, one joint was in Kmart. I lied to you not, bro. It was like a still Public Enemy #1 joint. I go grab that. Anything I see from Dwight, I cop. If I could see that shit in the store and I cop, like, what? This is something nigga had on the stand. Like, I thought this was a fucking bootleg. Like, a nigga just stole some tracks and put it on there and made their own graphic design for this shit. No, this is real. Copped it. Bro, I get to the track, and I don't know if it was still Public Enemy. I'm thinking that was the one. The one that had Run to the Rock. Dun dun. That joint right there. When Chris was talking, Chris never came out and said nothing about, he wasn't in no interview, he didn't spit no track with subliminals or nothing like that, bro, about that Jay-Z breakup and all that shit. I'ma spit that verse to y'all right now. The whole verse. I ain't got the lyrics in front of me or nothing. That's my homie. Like, I know him. You know what I mean? Good work, Chris. I love my niggas for life. Ain't no doubt about that. My nigga Free, nigga Bean, throw a shot for Mac. Oskino and Sparks. Them niggas my heart. Sober, blunted, kept it 100 from the start. Fresh off the block, what he said. Fresh on the rock, we was fresh off the block like what? We came at nines, came at the locks, ain't give a fuck. Whoever came at Big Homie had a problem with us. See, we was all we knew, and Rockefeller we trust. Now this bullshit split up, fucked the whole shit up. Knocked us back to scrap, how the fuck we get back to that? Niggas need you, Big Homie, gotta get back to rap. I mean, facts is facts, 16, you had my back. Now we back corner to corners, niggas laugh at that. Seeing me fight on the streets, how you ain't mad at that? Let alone, nigga, playing my demise. Tough love, Big Homie, you ain't stand by my side. How can I run to the rock? Now, I may have fucked up a couple words here or there, but at the end of the day, that's the first time Chris ever addressed that whole situation. When I broke that verse down, not on some break it down or judge it by a lyricist's ear or give it a 5-star rating, but to understand what he was saying, because I was interested, because Chris is somebody I known, met, shook hands with before he was famous and after. So I wanted to know, like, what was his perspective, because at that time, I was saying that Jay-Z done stole that nigga style. In 2003, I remember being down at the Alcatraz Studios talking with my folks, and I had just did a freestyle, I think, to like Show Me What You Got beat. I think it was that, the Show Me What You Got beat. It was either that or the Rock Boys beat. But one of those two beats I had just did a freestyle to, and we just started sitting down talking. And out of nowhere, we played my homie started playing the Rockefeller freestyles, first joint that was on Hot 97 with Funk Flex, when Jay-Z had Chris, Bleak, Boz, I mean, y'all know him as that, Freeway, C, H Money, Bags, Oskino, and Sparks up there. When I was listening to that, John, we was banging that, he was just talking. I was like, bro, listen to how Chris rapping, now that we talking about this whole shit. Listen to how Chris rap. Then go back and listen to Tough Love and how he delivering his cadence and all that. Now listen to Chris on his albums and his mixtapes and his live and all that, and he still rap the same way. Listen to how Jay-Z was rapping before he got in the industry. Then listen to how Jay-Z was rapping in the industry. Now listen to Jay-Z rapping after Young Chris and all them got picked up. And when people noticed the difference, they were like, damn, he kind of did swagger jack him. Not only did you swagger jack his flow cadence, but then you blackballed him out of the industry so he can't get no deals and shine on his own. Why? Because he was a threat. He's somebody that can move the needle. He's marketable, plus he got a crazy ass flow game. Now, when Dame Dash say, you know, people knew for years he do bad business and I was in the third, and he's sneaky, you know, in the third. If you work with him, you stupid, this and the third, that's on you. Well, what did you then? Because you was working with him this whole time. And because you not working with him no more, I can't say you as somebody sitting right next to him having to be able to push the needle and say this person can or this person can't go or this and the third. You wasn't in that position. And because you not, now it's FJZ again, when you were just crying on the joint talking about you missing. Listen, bro, one thing I can do, I feel some type of way doing what I'm doing right now. And all I'm doing is responding to something that I heard. But I can't sit around talking about another man, bro. Not in the negative, not in no way like that. That sounds kind of like kind of weirdish, homosexualish to me. Like, that's different. And I'm not even trying to be funny. That's different. Like, take it from this perspective. You know somebody that sit around and be talking about people's clothes, not in some busting them like you got holes in your pants, like, oh man, why would you wear a large? Man, your waist is not that big. You should wear a medium. Bro, you can't do that. That ain't cool to do. And if you was in prison and you said, oh, why did you get a medium jumper or a large jumper? Your waist and your shoulders not that big. You should have got a medium, bro. It's a wrap for you. So with that being said, you shouldn't be sitting around talking about men like that, Dame. I'm just saying. And then to try to flip it back and get gangster, like, I don't get it, bro. I don't know if it's just a publicity stunt to get like more eyes on you because your business ventures is not working the way you want them to, or the rock and roll gig ain't going. Like, think about it. You fucking 50. or pushing 50. You talked about music not being what it was, and the industry ain't nothing. You don't really make no money doing that. You slave and this and the third. What the fuck is you doing performing like a rock and roll bull? What are you doing? It's like you a hypocrite and contradicting yourself at every pass. And those of us who have a commonsensical brain can go, stop. That don't make sense. Here's why. 45 minutes later, I'm still up here like going through it. So I don't get it, bro. Like, you might just need to fall back, just give it up, hang it up, bro. Just like fall back into obscurity. Not even to obscurity, like just fall back and whatever you say you do, whatever businesses you say you own that's generating all this money, your kids is born into businesses and all that. Just go focus on them and stop doing these interviews. Stop talking about Jay-Z. Stop talking about Leor Cohen. Stop talking about Choke No Joke. Stop talking about Bleak. Stop talking about all these people. Stop talking about Beans. Stop talking about all that shit. If you're not going to rectify them situations that you know you fucked up with other people, and you're not doing nothing to like better that situation, stop getting on these joints talking about the situations, bro. Just go ahead and just be the CFO and the CEO and the COO and the CEO of your companies, bro. Go do all that and focus on generating capital and keeping your business ideas to make those things generate more capital. Focus on the TV station that you got or TV network that you got. But what about the TV network you could have got with them boys out in the UK that Choke No Joke set up? Anyway, you know what I'm saying? I done wasted enough time on this one, so I won't be doing another part 2 to this. Unless, like I said, throughout the duration of the rest of that interview, I hear some more shit that just don't make no sense to me, and I gotta speak to it. So, that being said, I thank you guys for, rocking out with me, watching it. For those who watched it, it's a long video, so I apologize. This ain't no editing tricks. I just filmed this shit live on my phone. That's why it's in my hand moving all around like that. I don't even know if my head cut off because I got the flash on this joint, so I'm using my front facing camera and the screen is all white, so I can't even see myself, so I don't know if I'm looking at the camera the right way or whatever. But at the end of the day, Dame, that sound like some sucker weirdo shit, and saying that people that work with Jay is stupid and the third. First of all, I don't think anybody should sign any contract with any musician, any musical company, any manager, any label ever. Not because, nowadays you can get on the internet and do your own thing. No, man. You trying to be famous and all that shit, you already done lost. That's where you already lost, Dane. When you trying to be famous, when your motivation is to make this money, get out there and be all out in front, that's when you lost, Dane. All y'all want to quote the Bibles and the Qurans and the Torahs when those quotes sound good for the message that you're pushing at that time, but you don't follow those notions and the entire thing when it applies to your life. You snake niggas all the time, but then turn around and call somebody else a snake and say if you work with them, you stupid. No, you stupid for even thinking that people forgot that not only did you work with that person for years and ride their coattails and get the most success that you've ever had and the most money you've ever made legally under Rockefeller Records, Def Jam, and Jay-Z. I'm not counting out nothing that you done outside of it. I ain't saying you broke or nothing like that. I don't count another man's pockets, but bro, let's be honest. You didn't do anything outside of Rockefeller Records and Def Jam recordings from under Jay-Z that generated any capital that is significantly at the level of where it was or more than what you was making there. There's no way. If it was, those things would be reported. See, that's like legal money. You can't keep that under wraps, bruh. You don't have to report to Forbes so they can put you on the list. But if a motherfucker got a business and it generated this, that, and the third, that's going to be reported on, bro. Independent entrepreneur Damon Dash has just broke the such and such on the NASDAQ stock market this morning. Earlier, when you seen the report, we talked to you about it last night, that it was a possibility. This morning, it actually came true. It would be reported on, bro. I ain't seen nothing reported with you except for scandals, allegations of things with women, and people been doing interviews about you owing them money since Beans first got out of jail. And I ain't talking about recently. I'm talking about like back when the breakup first started in 2005. When Sieg first got out of jail in 2006, 2007, bro, that was like one of the first things he talked about. You owing him bread. First it was the whole how Jay did that shit at the concert with Colleen and having security get him out of the concert and also in the third at Powerhouse. Then he got into you and the businesses and all that shit. This was years ago, bro. Years ago. Like literally the interview was years ago. But what you did was years prior to the interview taking place. So we talking a decade plus of you fucking niggas over. No homo. Well, I don't say shit like that. I'm 36 years old. When I say fucking niggas over, you know what I'm saying? You screwed somebody over, nigga. You did bad business. That being said, I'm not from New York, even though I got family in Far Rockaway and Bedford-Stuyvesant. I don't Paul, son. I don't no homo, son. That ain't a Philly thing, bro. That's y'all shit. And I don't swagger jack people like you doing with Gilly. Try and give niggas free game. Bro, it's crazy. Like, even Gilly gotta check you. And Gilly ain't give a fuck about you, ever. He never said nothing about you, ever. Rod never came out like, yeah, man, you know the ball Dame is good people. You know what I'm talking about? Like, the nigga put me and Toot up in a motherfucking hotel for the whole week and told me when I do the feature with Jay and Bleak, he gonna fly us out to London. I'm like, right. Like, no, you ain't never, you know what I mean? He ain't never talk about you, bro. Then all of a sudden, a few months ago, you want to give niggas some free game. That shit fly through the radar, get right back to Gil. Gil gotta check you. And he checked the shit out you. He checked the shit out you, bro. To the point where if somebody would have said that about me on the joint talking to me like that, first I would have responded in suit, because you gave that energy, so I'm going to give it back. Meaning I would have recorded myself on a live saying, Gilly, you crazy as shit. Don't talk to me like that. I wasn't trying to steal your idea, nigga. It just so happened that I just said free game. That don't mean I looked at your shit and say, yo, let me say free game. Come on, man. How you going to come at me like that? And if he took it from that level to another motherfucking level, then we would have been two men having to disagree and been outside with fisticuffs. I ain't coming at Gil. I'm just saying, if I was Dame and I didn't steal his joint and that nigga checked me like he checked you, hey, listen, bro, I would have been right on my joint the same way. Like, hold up. Before I start talking some gangster shit until my riding out to Philly and shooting up blocks, let me give him the same fucking energy he gave me. He went on his joint and spoke on his joint, so let me go on my joint and speak on my joint now. If he escalate this shit, I'm going to escalate this shit. That's it, as grown men should. But you stealing niggas' ideas in 2019 that didn't ran these ideas since 29 or 2008. You've been stealing niggas' money and backdooring business deals since 2000. Yes, 2000. All this shit start coming to the light. The wrong people complained about it. That's what happened. It's like the wrong people, but the right people. When I say the wrong people, it's like they the right people. They up there and they got influence. But they the wrong people that have to complain about it. Because if they got to say something, shit got to happen. So when you started getting caught up in all this shit, you thought, oh, I can just do shit to Oskino and Sparks and them and fake them on budgets for clothes and all that and the third. Nobody ain't gonna say that because they independent niggas. But when you start doing business deals and lying to big motherfucking artists and fucking over niggas who got influence, even the little motherfuckers who just might have a big motherfucker influence behind them. Like, yo, man, you know your man did this and the third. Yo, you know, it's the third time I heard about it. Don't worry, I'm gonna take care of you, bro. All them sneaky business deals, all that money you done burned niggas for, I hope it was worth it. Because now you sitting out here talking about, man, I'm independent. I'm doing the best I ever did in my life. You know you lying, Dame. I done ran an hour on this joint. 53 minutes. I can't believe I did it this long, bro. It don't even seem like I've been saying it out here, but that shit counting down. Dame, you crazy for that, bro. I ain't never say nothing about Dame Dash ever. So this is the first time, and I've seen a lot of shit that I didn't agree with over the years. Breakfast Club interviews and shit like that. The whole Flex, Funk Master Flex, Hot 97 shit, like, bro, I've seen a lot of stuff. Never said nothing. But that right there, like, hold on, bro. You's a hypocrite, and you contradictory in the same breath. I don't understand it. You're a contradictory hypocrite. I would never want to work with Jay-Z. Not because of what you said, because I wouldn't want to work with nobody in the industry where I got to sign my name on a dotted line to do some shit. I wouldn't do that to nobody, for nobody. That's why I'm still me. I wasn't willing to sell out. I wasn't willing to sacrifice family. I wasn't willing to do those things. I kept it kosher. And that, as you see that it comes back tenfold, why the fuck would you go from saying, all right, I don't fuck with them, they culture vultures, they did this. Then 3 months later, you crying, talking about you miss them. Then a month and a half later, it's fuck them again. They ain't about shit. That don't even make no sense to me. And then because Chris, my man, see do what he do, All these stories been out that you done burnt niggas out of bread for years. You backdoored Dwight with the whole Procaz deal while he was booked. You backdoored him out the state property clothing after he got out and did the interview about you taking the Procaz deal while he was booked. The shit that go down with this money shit and with these business deals, then you turn around and be doing these independent niggas interviews. All them fucking interviews led you into having one motherfucker sit back going, hold up, bro, this shit don't even make no sense. How the fuck do you get me with 2 business companies that my man had, your name end up being on there? Now the people that like own the companies or that signed a deal with you, like the people that y'all was doing the business with, they probably didn't know no better. They probably didn't know, like, damn, I could have swore the bull Beanie Siegel, you know, this was his John. So how is Dame coming in here saying it's his John, or he's representing them? Hey, they work together. That's probably what they understanding. Hey, they work together. You feel me? That was probably their understanding right there. Hey, they work together. That's his boss. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's here representing his artist on good faith. Okay, let's do the deal. Meanwhile, I don't care how the breakup happened between Jay and Beans. I don't care about none of that fallout. Where is his money from your end, bro? See, he could have been eating off that. Don't talk about what he could have did as an artist, what other move he could have made that kept his, fuck all that. Where is his money from the Procaz deal, bro? Where is his state property clothing money at, bro? Where is his Armadale money at, bro? I'm pretty sure there's some more little things in there and intangibles we don't know about that's going to trickle out. Because when some of these people's names get used, bro, motherfuckers reach out. Like I said, I ain't going to say no names. But when certain people hear their names mentioned on these joints, not just by me, but by y'all niggas too. So when Choke be saying stuff about Bleak or whatever, them niggas call them up. When you say something about Fat Joe or Nori or something like that, them niggas hit you up. You say something about Jim Jones or Cam and it don't be like something that they rock with, them niggas hit you up. Speaking of Jim Jones and Cam, don't you owe one of them niggas money, if not both? Jimmy don't fuck with you like that from what I understand. And from what's been out there. But fuck what's been out there. From what I understand, because like I said, I'm connected a little bit. And he don't bang with you like that. And I don't even know him personally, but like I said, we got family. We got motherfuckers that's in places. So I don't understand. Like, I'm confused. There's a lot of shit going on right now. So I'm going to get off this, John. Because I don't want to have to be recording myself witnessing no crime. Because I'm hearing a fucking alarm going off in the back. A nigga just walked through the alley. I guess he got locked out of his crib. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But at the end of the day, Dame, that's some sucker shit. I ain't going nowhere. I'm about to get finished sitting right here watching the rest of this interview with the fucking with the Dame Dash joint on that Jumper podcast shit. And if I hear anything else, I'm probably gonna make another vid about that shit. But Dame, that's some sucker shit, bro. You can't keep flim-flamming like that, bro. Just leave it alone. Like I said, you so successful, you got all these independent businesses and all that. Yo, bro, just go sit down at the age that you are and be like a retired senior citizen, bro. Just like watch your wealth incrementally grow. That's all you need to do. And just come up with better ideas to keep your capital in those businesses, recirculating newer capital. That's it. Coming out, keep talking about Jay-Z, Leroy Cohen, all these other rappers and all these other times, and yeah, these niggas are suckers for being in the industry. You a slave just because you choose to get up and do the same thing every morning. Don't you choose to get up and do the same things that you do? You choose to get up and go to that wherever you go, whatever company that you say you own. You choose to go to that office building that you rent, that you do not own. You choose to go put those mics in front of your face. You choose to do those things, and you generating all this for what? Because you're not making like Revolt money. You're not making like rock radio money. You're not making Hot 97 money. What are you doing? So all these other independent interviews is to do nothing but to generate more attention. So hopefully somebody can offer you something to where you can help yourself into another business venture to get back into the limelight. That's all that's about. Cut the check, right? It's your boy HAAK. I am him in the flesh, man. Thank y'all for checking it out. If you feel some type of way about it, rate, comment, share it with your folks, whatever you like to do, man. My page ain't here for money. I'm not monetized. I curse on my page. Ain't no sound effects to stop that. So, you know, it is what it is. I ain't doing this for salacious attention and clickbait. I'm doing this because I just heard some shit that made me go, what? And 60 minutes later, I'm signing off. Holla.